Hello, everybody. Yes, good to see you all. We'll give people a minute to log in here. Oh, there's Kelly. Perfect. I'm going to make you a co-host, Kelly. Come join us. Now, hopefully, we're doing some last-minute Zooming, expanding the capacity of the Zooms. We're going to find out real quick if it worked. Otherwise, to the 100 who are in here, congrats. You might have just been the few who get to stay. Beautiful, beautiful.
Are we going to have like a hair off during this hour, you and me?
Let's go.
I'm feeling mildly threatened.
Oh, no.
The competition is fierce up in here.
Just a couple of curly-haired girls. So good. Great to see everybody. I'm excited for today. Kelly, and everybody, welcome. I want to introduce you first off to my man, Alexander Ohm. He is right-hand man, partner in Soulful Sales Company, and going to be helping us out today, navigating the chats and grounding us to begin, and holding the fort down. Also, would love for this to be as interactive as possible. So, invitation to turn on cameras. We can see you. Let's get the energy going both ways, not like a TV show. We'll have this be engaging. We'll ask questions. We'll get the chat flowing. We'll have some fun. And yeah, I'm super excited. Thank you so much, Kelly, for coming and jamming.
Thank you. I'm excited.
Me too. I think this is going to be great. So yeah, maybe just like 95. I'm going to be like, if it goes 101, it's like, hooray. If it just stops at 100, then
was it meant to be?
Was it meant to be? Yeah, beautiful. But what a great group, been able to chat with some people before. And yeah, just really excited. I would love to know, where are y'all coming from? Maybe in the chat, let's get the fingers warmed up, drop it in. Where in the world are you? Portugal, Mexico, San Fran, Ecuador, Seattle, Kelowna, Oklahoma, Montana. Yeah, like all over the world. UK, New York. Perfect. Minnesota, Bend. We have reached 100. And it looks like no more. All right. Well, beautiful. 101. It worked. Okay. Hooray. Beautiful. We're from all over. This is great. Well, welcome. Today we're going to be jamming around, like how to build a great business. One that is abundant, one that is, impact focused, that's fun to run. Talk about the mindset. We're going to talk about the model. And whenever we do any like coaching calls or, containers, especially with the large size where we're all coming from different places all around the world, love to just kind of get into a similar vibe, a similar frequency, and just invite the wisdom to come through and have a great time. So Alexander will just guide us through, a little grounding, couple breaths, and then we'll get into it. And I'm going to grill Kelly. I'm going to just pick that brain, that brilliant brain of hers, and share with all of you. And then I've got a little something to share at the end as well. So, Mr. Alexander.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Here I am.
Here you are. Beautiful. Would you mind getting us all into a vibe, grounded, present.
Absolutely. It would be my divine pleasure. So, just super quick. No one can do it wrong here. We all know how to breathe. But just very, very quickly, if you're able to, both feet on the ground, eyes gently shut, spine lifting up to the sky, nice and erect, and relaxing the rest of the body. Again, this is just going to be a couple seconds here, so we can bring that focus in. A lot of us had a busy morning, running around, picking up the kids. We got busy calendars. We're going to take all of that energy and that beautiful mental chatter that is our assistant, and we're going to give him or her permission to take a quick coffee break. Just a minute off to the side. We don't need you for a moment. And we're going to take that nice little journey down from the head, from the mental chatter, and with a breath in and out, we're going to drop down into the heart. That little 8, 9, 10-inch journey down into the heart. And if you'd like, you can bring a hand or two up here into the heart. We're just going to breathe in here for a second. We're going to open that space in the body so that we can receive all of the beautiful wisdom that's going to be shared today. So nice and slow. Next natural exhale, let all that air out. Into the nose, right into the heart. Opening the front, gentle exhale out of the mouth. Beautiful. Now breathing in to the nose, to the back of the heart, opening that back space, holding gently, gentle exhale out to the mouth. Breathing, inhaling through the nose to the sides of the heart. Expanding out horizontally, fully inhaled, gentle hold, exhale. We're just going to do 3 deeper breaths here into the whole body, doing it all together. Big breath into the nose. Holding at the top, nice and gentle, whole body, getting that beautiful oxygen, exhale. 2 more, all together. A little bit bigger this time. Inhaling. Head to toes, holding at the top. Little smile coming into the face here. And audible exhale. 1 more. This is going to be your biggest breath of the day. All together, in through the nose. Holding at the top, bringing in a little bit more air. Holding, smiling, expanding. 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Great job, everyone. Heart nice and open, ready to receive. Smile on the face. Gratitude. Thank you so much, Dan and Kelly. Let's dive in.
Amazing. Thank you, sir. Super grateful for you and the groundingness that you bring every day. I'm going to pin Kelly. Oh, yeah, there we go. Oh, hello. I might pin myself too. Hey, there we go. Before I go in, Kelly, I want to know just one more thing from those who are here is if you had to choose like a word right now for like what you're present to, about your day or just like in this particular moment, what is your vibe, your energy, your word? Let's see, Kelly's smiling. I feel like
Yeah, it's almost always these days, I would say for the past 2 years, delight. And that's the word. There's so many delightful aspects of your coming into my life and my business and my team, and just being here feels very magical. And I'm super excited also to see folks from my, side of the woods, table. I don't know what I'm trying to say. My area of the world.
interwebs. Yep.
Yeah. And just this cross pollination feels really beautiful. So it's very delightful. Thank you.
I love that. I feel it. It's like it's been really awesome getting to work with you and with your team and diving into your work. For a little context, like I have known of Kelly for a long time. I think like probably the Joe Rogan podcast was maybe where like I first,
In my blowout days.
Yeah,
Speaking
yeah.
of hair. Yeah.
But really got more familiar with your work through my wife, who is a psychotherapist, and then she has 4 sisters, and they're always talking about Kelly Brogan. So I'm always learning through vicariously about your work through them, and also your one of my daughter's favorite books, A Time for Rain.
That's the best endorsement.
Such a great book, and yep, she loves it. We love it, and so to be able to get to collaborate with you and work with you and have bring my homies from my neck of the woods.
That's what I was looking for. Neck of the woods, not
Neck
side.
of the woods, yeah. To get to connect with you, and yeah, is just like a gift, and excited for this conversation specifically. And yeah, I've got kind of like so many questions, and maybe we can just kind of dive in and start. And oh yeah, wait a second. Oh, is my chat working? Just want to make sure. Can you guys, if you're here, just type in something so I can see? Because I'm gonna be testing. I'm gonna be hopping in. Hello. Okay. Beautiful. Okay. So for my homies who are on my neck of the woods, who may or may not know you, maybe they've like seen the highlights that you're, best time, New York Times bestseller, psychotherapist, holistic, psychiatrist. But what's the story that they might not know of, like, who's Kelly Brogan? Give us a little bit of the journey from, yeah, give us a little bit of the journey, maybe like well, you decide how far.
Yeah, I can do this in a nutshell. First of all, I think Best Time Girl is way better than New York Times bestseller. It's like literally what you almost said.
Totally. Best Time
I like
Girl.
it. I like it. Let's see. So if I'm expert in anything, it is shedding identities and starting over with a fresh take on my perspectives. And so I've gotten really good at being bad and wrong, both to myself, within myself, and in the eyes of others. And that has served me, we're here to talk business. That has served me immensely in my business trajectory and in the rendering of my business as a spiritual practice and playground, which I know is a lot of what, you're here to support people in as well. So, I started out a credentialed, pedigreed pharma pushing, psychiatric diagnosis assigning believer. And now, of course, I look back and it feels like I was a member of a cult. Actually, and if you look up the defining features of a cult, it really does meet that criteria. I certainly have been punished for leaving and speaking out and that kind of a thing, but nothing I haven't enjoyed, don't worry. And the nature of my zeal for allopathic medicine and pharma was such that I specialized in prescribing to pregnant and breastfeeding women. Like that's actually how much I believed in it. And it wasn't until my own health crisis. This is like a really common story for like renegade MDs, is like when the system has to serve you, you're sort of like really aware all of a sudden of the deficiencies of the system, right? And the glass ceiling of what is on offer, which is just managing your illness for the rest of your life. And so when I was diagnosed with an autoimmune condition, Hashimoto's, thyroiditis, I said, well, I'm not interested in walking a prescription down to CVS every month. No, thank you. Like apparently it was good enough for my patients and not good enough for me. And that rumble, is the defining feature of what in psychology is called like a rupture of empathy. It's like when you feel either with your parents or a partner or a system, like, wow, I thought that this system was actually here for my best interest or this person, and actually they don't see the world the way I do, or they don't give a shit about me, one or the other or both. And I was like a girl on fire, and I just decided I'm gonna I'm going to do it different. So through lifestyle change, I put my condition into remission, and you would think I was like so excited. This is amazing. I was really pissed. I was really pissed, like rageful, actually. And it's like I took my sword out of her sheath and ripped my clothes off and ran onto the battlefield, took out like literally a $2 million life insurance policy. And
Wow.
I was just like in my, now I call it the big fuck no, because like when you look at the trajectory of like the Jungian individuation process, like everybody needs that moment of like, no, like
Yeah.
no. And it allows you to find yourself, like to feel your boundaries. Who am I? I was so merged with this parentified system. And so, I published a book with an exploding pill on the cover and really fought that fight rather, like for years. It wasn't until I lost a mentor, Nick Gonzalez, if anyone's familiar with his work. He was a very sacred figure in my life. And when he died very suddenly in 2015, it was like yet another dark night. There are several that I haven't mentioned. It's been a magic carpet ride for sure. But that's when I really transitioned out of like really the victim consciousness of activism that's masquerading as like, we're here to save the world. I'm here to save the world. The world can't function unless I sound the alarm on all the things people don't know about pharma and the allopathic system. And I shifted into what feels good. I started to live my life based on what actually feels good. And at the time, and still, what feels good to me is like dogma defying stories of self-reclamation. And in this case, it was health reclamation. And so I was seeing these in my practice and through my online program, Vitamite Reset. And I thought, like mischievously, I'm like, I'm going to publish these, I'm going to publish these in the medical literature and see if they can stop me, And so I ended up manifesting like all these incredible clinical volunteers and published a number of cases and case series and even a randomized trial, of lifestyle medicine to heal. I guess that's not the word they use, but to resolve and put into remission depression. And and that has been really what has inspired me, is like making sure that people know what's possible. And I transitioned from the health dimension in some ways to the femininity, space, if you will, an embodiment space, because I have seen it's like sort of a natural a flow, you reclaim your body, you start to work with deprogramming your mind from all of the myths and lies. And then there is this force that wants to animate your body. I call it Eros. You can call it vital force. You could call it chi, whatever you want. And it doesn't have permission, to take up occupancy in your body when you have a ton of shame on board. And so I've become really interested in, what I lovingly refer to as shame alchemy, which again is another thing that is very relevant to actualizing and aligning in your business, what you stand for, really looking at the very valid reasons why you may be stuck in patterns and what I call kinks of, this struggle, not having the experience that you say you want and you're working so hard for. Why? So that has really been my interest, and really helping to support women to wake up from what I refer to as the psyop of feminism, and a lot of the ways we have been conditioned to believe that we want something we don't actually want. And as somebody who's really scaled that ladder, in terms of my business and my self-sufficiency and all of my independence, as a single mom and all the things, I can be for sure one of the certified whistleblowers that it's not actually, the fulfillment that we were expecting to experience at the top of the ladder. And so I'm very interested also in like how women function in the entrepreneurial space, and how do we, really work as like softpreneurs and really honor pleasure and flow, and what I call like, and others call feminine money, what it is to earn that kind of revenue. And and I would say the thread through all of it is my obsession with victim consciousness and the power that this field of energy has to disconnect us from God, disconnect us from our bodies, disconnect us from each other. It's what they leverage, in these false flags and these greater experiences of discord and distress. And we have an opportunity to mature beyond it. And it's so much easier when we do this together and hold each other and ourselves accountable. So that's something you'll hear a lot, in my references as well.
I love that. I also just want to invite people who are listening, like the things that stick out to you, drop them in the chat. I was thinking, it's interesting that work around shame and transmuting and having like an alchemical process of becoming the next version of yourself is, like you said, it's your, what you're an expert at in your own process, and also in like guiding people through that. And you had mentioned in a video something about like in your journey from being like a walking zombie to being a like self-inspired, self-trusting woman, business owner. That journey, there's like there's an order of things, like an order, like a process and an order to be able to, step into that space. Could you speak a little bit to that process, that order?
Yes, for sure. Because I have this, I don't know, like unique position of being, as far as I know, like one of the only ones in the feminine reclamation and embodiment space who is interested in the truth about health and chronic illness. And one of the only ones in the health and wellness, holistic medicine space who's interested in, sexuality and feminine embodiment. I can see like, oh, wow, when you get stuck in one area, or maybe you start in an area that bypasses a lot of the fundamentals, your journey can feel like there's a lot of inertia. And I don't know, maybe it's like Dante's influence or something, but for me, hell is like the same thing forever, right? Like, so that notion of like, is it ever going to change is something paralyzing. I remember in the first year of motherhood, I don't know if you can relate, when I would imagine, is it going to be like this forever? Like the sleepless nights forever? I'm not signing up for this,
right.
So that idea of the perpetuity of a struggle, I see that a lot, literally, like you can get stuck for decades, and that's why I've become really passionate about this order of operations you reference, because let's say the goal is this Japanese term I love and use hopefully somewhat accurately, which is ikigai. And my summary is that it is the intersection between your gifts and talents, what you love doing in life, what you can get paid for, and how you can serve the collective. And all of those things. So not just the service with the no money, right? And not just the shit you're good at, but you don't enjoy. No, all of it contributes to a sense of desire to wake up in the morning, right? And if that's what we actually are interested in, and whether that, again, if you are a mother, or you are, in other ways like bartering, and none of this is relevant to you, like I'm just talking to entrepreneurs here. For me, that has been the North Star, is this notion that I can have it all. And if I started with like this feminine principle of like, I'm just going to go with the flow and do what's fun and enjoyable for myself, right? Like I might be homeless now, right? Like, or I might be struggling. Like, honestly, a lot of my friends and colleagues are trying to like, sort of relax into the flow of creativity, and then finding they can't pay their rent. So I have come to see it as this actualization process that starts with, what I like to refer to as the masculine, the initiation of the masculine. And I work, with men and women in some of my spaces, but I am a woman, so I know my own experience best, right? So I'm referring to that yang dimension, the animus within each of us, right? So how do you initiate the masculine? Commitment, integrity of word, follow through, discipline. Well, one of the ways I have found is you need a ritual, and you need a group ritual.
Mhm.
And so, this protocol that I use to heal my own Hashimoto's that I mentioned, Vital Mind Reset, now I look back and I'm like, wow, that's what it is. It is this ritual initiation where you show up to yourself for 1 month. It's actually 44 days, but whatever, a month of behavioral change, that involves dietary change and self-care practices that are very specific and honestly manageable. It's like 3 minutes of contemplative, like meditation a day, that kind of thing.
Yep.
But you show up and my energy is like, don't fucking waste my time. Okay. Don't waste your time. Like go
Yes.
big or go home. Show up and do the damn thing. Right. Like act like you actually give a shit about yourself for once in your life and treat yourself with obsessive care for 1 month. Okay. Everyone can do this for 1 month. You can do anything for 1 month. And what I find is literally on a nervous system level, on a physiologic level, there is safety sourced somehow from within, right? So when you're running around life and you need to control everybody and complain and fix all the problems and put out all the fires and the government this and my partner this, you are not in your power. You're in your powerlessness, and that has like a neurobiological signature that is incompatible with healing. And that's, I think, why, as a psychiatrist intending to help my patients like prepare to come off medication, I ended up like publishing these cases of like inflammatory bowel disease and lupus and asthma and these totally unrelated things I'm not expert in. Why? Because the conditions of safety are generated in the body when you reclaim your power of choice. When you say internally, like, I've got me. Somebody's home. It's almost like the good daddy arrives and you have that feeling you wish you had as a kid, or maybe you did, I don't know. But like where you're like, oh, he's here. He's got me. I can just relax, right? There's no vigilance required. And then after you do the chopping wood and carrying water of that self-initiation, then all of the emotional mastery is really what's on deck. So you evaluate your relationships. You look into what I call like where you're trying to buy eggs from the hardware store. So where in your life, whether it's your job, your marriage, your dynamic with your parents or your sibling, like where are you just disappointed and resentful and bitching all the time because you are insisting that it be different than it is. And you are insisting that something be available, right? This is like being like agitated like I was, that the system doesn't care about us, or the system doesn't offer us like I was so pissed I never learned about nutrition in medical school. That's not what's for sale there. Right. Like if I look at, that's a hardware store, they don't sell eggs, right? Like that's a butcher. I'm not going to get my like lentil meal there. Okay. So like when we are clear about the ways that we are attracted to these incompatibilities so that we can feel the feels that are decades old, then we can say, okay, I'm going to work with this intentionally and consciously. And then I'm going to use that choice I reclaimed through my lifestyle change. And I'm going to exercise it in my communication about boundaries, in my expression of desires. And I'm going to soberly assess, now that my nervous system is more stable, like how safe something is actually in front of me, a situation, right? And in psychology, that's called neuroception. It's like how accurate is your assessment of the safety? Do you look at a pile of clothes on a chair and see a murderer, in the dim light of the dawn of your bedroom, or do you see, oh, it's a pile of clothes, I'm cool, there's nothing to see here? Are you projecting? And so this level of reclamation, I don't know, when you dive in there, like you start with the plant medicine and, the energy healing, and you start there before you've shown up for yourself in that initiatory way. Again, I see a lot of like circling the drain. And so this order of operations, I have found to be, I don't want to say graceful because it's not always graceful, but like more coherent. And I like to say like suffering ends where meaning begins. So when you can make sense out of what's happening, like your experience of that victim resonance of suffering is going to be much attenuated, and it'll make sense. Even if you're in the shit over and over and over again, it's going to make sense to you. And that is a gift. It's a gift, a merciful gift, I would say.
I love that. Can you share like a little bit with a lot of healers here, coaches here, practitioners, and kind of that transmutation of the pain into purpose, and like how we might, how that work then translates into what we're doing as a profession, as a like, where's that connection?
I love this because a lot of when I work with women in the entrepreneurial space, one of the common, sort of sentiments is like, I don't have anything unique to offer, or like, do I really have something new? And I'm sure you hear that, right? And I'm sure many of you listening can relate to that. It's like this sense, like it's almost like an imperative that you have to like come out the gate with some like groundbreaking thing, and otherwise you should shut up. And I think of that as a very valid protector impulse that's trying to keep us nice and small. But the truth is that you have the capacity to contribute that ikigai, right? You have the you could even say obligation maybe to show up with the expression of your gift simply because you are you. And I don't say that like Hallmark card spiritual nonsense. Like I actually literally mean that. I always tell the women I work with, like, you're selling your energy. This is sacred prostitution. And get with that. It's fantastic. It's great. You can keep your clothes on or not, and you can have an experience of your energy, literally just your energy, being a therapeutic offering to another that then rebounds back to you. So to legitimize around why you, like, why you? Why should you have your business, right? What do you have to offer relative to somebody you might feel is like farther along or has more, extensive category of resource, whatever. It has to be you because it's you. It has to be you because it's you. And your specific trauma, your specific signature victim story, whatever that is it's like that saying, I don't know if it was Khalil Gibran or who, but like that the light is, the wound is where the light shines through, right? Like your specific trauma is the direct conduit for your gift. And, two people can have experiences of the same kind of abuse, but what we made it mean is very personal. And there could be things we have in common. Like for me, my wound is like, if I were to pick one, and there's a huge bag of them, don't worry, I have many to choose from. But if I were to pick one, it would be like that I have been forsaken, right? So the antidote to that is reclamation, right? Like the entirety of my purpose, my self-expression is now centered around the antidote to the hurt. So the sort of pain is your purpose thing you can arrive at if you get quiet with yourself and you're like, what is like my biggest complaint in life?
Right.
Like, and specifically from like, and you may be somebody who hasn't done a lot of digging in your childhood. And maybe you're like, my parents did the best they can. It was fine, I guess. But there's a little part of you, okay? Might not be all of you. It's just a little part of you that's got, some pretty tear-jerking shit to say, and when you listen to that part, she or he might say, like, why did nobody care about me? Why did what I have to say just not matter? Why was nobody here when I needed them? Or worse. And the little longing, right? The heart yearning that comes naturally when you have a complaint. There's a desire underneath. When it's too loud, you want silence. There's always this polarity at play. So you can begin to meet, the longing that leads you directly to your purpose. And it's so personal to you, which is why every single experience that you have in life, including all the like embarrassing, messy shit, in your health journey, if you're a health coach, like that is, trust me, is alchemical gold, because the empathic bridge that you can build to a client doesn't exist if you haven't gotten your hands dirty in your own experience, failed, messed up, done things wrong, thought you had it and you didn't. This is how somebody can feel your heart. They feel your humanity. They feel your vulnerability. And when you're in the coaching position, you're in the, I call it the Dom seat, right? So you're not there to get therapy from your client either.
Yeah.
So it's this like incredible opportunity to balance both your vulnerability, the realness of how your struggle has led you to sit in the chair you're sitting in, and also your authority, which remember is that you are you. Okay, that's your authority. That's your credential. And your sense of like, I belong in this seat. I had an attending physician when I was a fellow tell me this, totally conventional dude. And it was like one of the deeper things I've been taught. Okay. And he said, Kelly, you're going to have to take your seat before you're ready. Right? Like take your seat metaphysically, take your seat, sort of pedagogically, like I'm going to have to sit in the throne, if you will, like when I still feel like I should be maybe like a pauper, in the corner, but it's like in the sitting, it's like literally as your ass is like moving to the chair, there's a readiness that happens or you wouldn't be sitting. So there's something very magical about like the moment you have your first client, right? Let alone like grow, a 6-7 figure business. Like the practice of I belong here, I belong here, I belong here, I belong here is where a lot of the spiritual work comes in. Because if you grew up, let's say, without money, okay, if you grew up, in a household that struggled, you may encounter that belief that says like, wow, I'm earning this revenue and I don't belong here. Like I don't belong with the rich people or whatever these programs are. And take it from me, I have lived experience of disappearing that revenue, like very effectively. It's a real thing. I mean, the first, million I made, I disappeared within 1 year on labor costs. And I was building my program and all the things that seemed legitimate, but it was really because I didn't have the grown like capacity to and worth, I guess, right? So I didn't have the capacity to actually have the thing that I said I wanted. I didn't feel like I belonged where I had arrived. And so that's why I'm so passionate about like this constant practice of legitimizing very intentionally around where you are and what you want, right? So where you are, maybe not where you want to be. And there's a good reason for that. And then what you want, how do you get like even more like entitled to that? Like, how do you feel into it? You might find when you feel into it, you don't actually want like some of the aspects of it, right? Like maybe you wouldn't feel good having, 2 million in the bank. Maybe that actually would feel like, oh my God, I don't know how to invest. Like, I don't know what to do with that. Like, that sounds stressful, right? So you'll encounter these like parts in tension with each other as you explore your no, right? So the like, no, this isn't working. I don't like this. And your yes.
I've heard you talk about like audacious wants and like just being okay wanting audaciously, but also from a space of fullness. And could you maybe, because I think that that can be a trap. There's this other piece you talked about, like you stepping into the seat before you're ready is a courageous act. And the energy of courage is like on that map of consciousness from David Hawkins, Power versus Force. Courage is this like, is the flipping point of like stepping into a positive vibration and like a different energy, but it takes that courage piece. And so I think that's like a beautiful, just like remembering, because what I'm hearing or what I'm trying to, reconcile with is this, how do we offer the sacred prostitution gift of our energy amidst the like unfinishedness of it, like in the sense that we're still going through the work and what is there to be with, and how do you do that well? And so I'm just picking up a couple pieces here of courage is required, and also just like this idea of wanting or kind of like setting goals, but doing it from a way that doesn't actually create more like shame that you're not creating that goal, or and I think you speak brilliantly about yeah, just about this idea about like, how do you want audaciously from a space of fullness that doesn't create like lack?
Yeah. Yeah. So I would say firstly that I think of courage as, so I talk about the like little, your intuition, right? The little teeny whisper of an uncharged sensation of no or yes in your body. It's a body thing.
Mm.
And, when you've got like bloating and joint pain and your hair is falling out and you haven't slept in months, like, you can't feel that. Like you can't feel the signal through the noise. So again, that's why I'm a believer in that order of operations, because then you can be at least clear enough. You just start to feel like, nope, or yeah, it's like that. But often there's like a pile of the opposite on top, right? So like you may wake up on a Wednesday and be like, I want to do a retreat and I want to do it for new moms, who had their babies within the past 3 months. And I want to include the babies or whatever. Like you have this idea, right? And it's a little yes. But there's like this huge, like, who the fuck do you think you are? Like, you need a huge team to do that. Nobody really wants to do that. They're busy, blah, blah, blah. All that no gets piled on top. When you honor that yes, that's courage. That to me is courage. It's aligning with that little teeny voice.
Love that.
Right? Because, and it goes the opposite way too. When you have a no and you actually honor it, you don't settle, you don't tolerate the thing, that doesn't work for you, or tolerate not getting the thing or having the thing that you desire, right? So the experience and relationship to desire, I think of as being quite different, and you tell me, for men and women. I have been mostly informed and inspired, and frankly obsessed with David Deida, if you know his teachings. Actually, I think I already it's like I can't go one conversation. I'm pretty sure I already asked you that. So I've been, studying his work for over a decade, and it just makes the most sense to me. So I will attempt to, summarize some aspects of it, which is to say that the feminine, right, and feminine essence beings, which is most of the time women, the feminine is desire, right? And specifically this impossible to fulfill desire. But that the mature feminine, he wouldn't use that word, but I'll use the word mature, feminine is already full. She's aware that she's resting like a lioness with a totally full belly. And she's still scanning the savannah, right? So it's this sense of like, God, this is delicious what I get to have in this moment. And I still want more, right? And he would say that the feminine relates to love, right? Love, being loved and unloved. And we all go through, stages and phases, but, that is the play. It's like, he loves me not kind of a thing. And if you are a female entrepreneur, this is your work, right? This is your work. They love me. They don't love me. Do they love me? Right? Am I worth love or not? Right? It's that sort of dance, and it's just a part of it. And the sooner you can get to the place where you're like, I will always have more that I want, more love that I want. And I feel this. I'm letting what is here into my tissues, right? Whereas the masculine, or men, let's say, are relating to failure, and specifically being free or trapped, right? Actually, it would be this way: trapped or free. And he'll say that men, from his work, they will first want the things, right? The boat, the car, and then they'll get the shit, and then they want better shit. So then they want the better boat, the bigger house, right? The hotter woman, whatever it is. They want more of the things. And then he says they'll get to this place or this point where all the form, all the stuff, which is the feminine, is the stuff, is the form, right? Because masculine is the consciousness. It's oppressive. And he says that's when some men will consider suicide, because it's a way out into the freedom again, into the void. And so when you can get good at failing, as a man. And when you can reconnect to God by, you know, going into the woods by yourself and sitting in silence for a week,
Mhm.
every time you have that sense of like, oh my God, not another thing, you know, overwhelm, then you will actualize into this place where you are like a living prayer, basically, and you can access the sacred. So the experience of aligning with and relating to desire, I would say specifically for women, involves like a spectrum, right? So I say like there's apologetic wants, right? Like, oh, I just want to make $500 a month so I can keep my electricity on, you know, kind of a thing. Sorry, I want anything. Can I breathe? You know, that kind of thing. And then there's acceptable wants, right? Like, oh, it'd be great if I was just like earning enough revenue so I could like take a vacation a year, maybe two. That'd be great. And you know, you can share that publicly and there's no real shame connected to it. It feels like there's not going to be a social consequence to expressing what you want. But audacious wants are coupled with shame, right? And the moment you become aware of it, you wish it wasn't there, right? And you feel some degree of like, you know, well, I hope nobody ever knows that I want that thing. And the example I often use is that for me, I would love to experience my wealth in such a way that I have, you know, like service and support to an extent that like I've only ever seen in like movies or something, right? Like the driver and the chef and like the I don't touch a dish kind of a thing. And, you know, there's like literally people to help me with all the things, right? And of course that like comes from some sense in my childhood that like nobody was really there to help me, whatever. So it comes from a place that's probably why it's gate kept by shame, that vulnerable desire that's been there for decades. And when you can play with these audacious wants, when you just even in the quiet of your own home, right? You just really feel into like, what do I really want? Then you learn a lot about your capacity to have that thing. One of my, I'm a huge fan also of Kaja Urbaniak, and she wrote a book called Unbound, and she teaches about this subject. And she offers an exercise where you think of all the stuff you want to buy, like literally every single thing, and like, you know, boats and houses, but you have to manage all of it. So you can't just like buy, you know, 10 mansions and then be like, oh, I'm going to sell that. No, you have to have it all, right? And then you kind of calculate like roughly how much would it be. And then you do this exercise where you're like, okay, well, if I get that amount, let's say it's $300 million of stuff on your wish list, then you get that amount every month and you have to spend it on yourself. Not on your kids, not on your community. I mean, I guess you could like buy a town and rehab it or something like that. But again, you're managing all the stuff that you buy. You'll very quickly learn what your ceiling is for having, you know, and we have that ceiling. So the alignment with your desires it's a spiritual journey of beginning to trust that what I want is not going to earn me punishment. There's no strings attached. I don't have to give anything I don't want to give. And I don't have to apologize for it. And it's a process of getting there for sure.
I love that. Is this where like in the context of, you know, building your business and talking a little bit about like masculine money, feminine money, how you earn it, where it goes, could you maybe put that into a like as a container, like an individual who is both masculine and feminine, and looking to build their business, you know, in the right way? What is the way of thinking about that, about how to use masculine, feminine money and how to build a business with that in mind?
Tell me what I'm curious what you think about this. Because I have a somewhat like unpopular opinion, it seems like I don't know, some of my friends like push back a lot when I like point out my perspective on this. But I am a big believer in the establishment of what some call masculine money, right? So the money that pays your bills, buys your groceries, like your root chakra money, like the money that secures your sense of like I have permission to actually exist, because the way that the agenda has played out, you literally need, fiat currency to exist on a plot of land. You can't just be in a park. Okay.
Totally.
So these permission slips to exist, in many ways, have that energy of life, of the feminine, right? So how do you open to attracting that back home to you? Well, I think it needs to feel safe, right, in your system. You're going to be a good steward. You're going to be a good custodian of that energy. And if you are in vigilance and you're not sure if you can make your rent, make your car payment, buy your organic food, or whatever it is that are these basic needs, I would include that in there. And you're trying to be a solopreneur who is in your creative energy, coming up with the good ideas, like good luck with that. I really don't think it works. So in my process, I've developed this bias, which is do the shitty thing, right? So now it's very popular, for women, especially, to be encouraged to like follow their desire and their pleasure. And again, like doing that out of order, you're going to be gaslighting yourself and being like, oh, I should be enjoying this, but like, fuck, like, where's my sugar daddy, where he hasn't shown up yet. And so when I worked at the Bellevue emergency room, psychiatric hospital, like way longer, like after I woke up, okay, so that I could make $140 an hour moonlighting, medicating, and hospitalizing people. I mean, you have a lot of authority actually in agency to do it how you want it. So whatever, maybe I could convince myself I was like a benevolent force in that satanic space, whatever. But regardless, I stayed there longer. I had a private practice for 10 years. I stayed there probably 2 years longer than after I started my digital business, and was like so lit up by the potential of, group work and everything that goes on online, and all these connections of the network we're enjoying now, and I stayed in that very intense, arguably stressful position for longer than I wanted to. I did speaking engagements for longer than I wanted to. So, if you're at some like conventional job in the day, and you're trying to grow this vision of your ikigai, as a health coach, I'm a believer you stay in the shitty job until you have a little savings, you have a buffer. Maybe you even stay in a version of the shitty job while you're growing the other thing. That's the best. If there is some part-time thing you can do while you're growing your thing, so the pressure is not on your creative little seedling blossom, it's so much better. And then, the feminine money is like, who knows why I need this money, right? It could be to express your desires, to have experiences, it's like the surplus overflow of money, way more than you need. And again, that money's not going to feel safe with you if you don't have this disciplined commitment to the basic needs in your life. Eventually, I work very few hours a week. I do only what I want, and I have a wonderful, like a business experience. That was a 10-year journey. And I'm not saying it has to be 10 years. In fact, I think things are very accelerated now, but there was an order of operations that got me to this place where it's easy. It's spacious,
Yeah, I love that, because that's the dream that, most of the marketing bros are selling, that it's like you can have this easy business, but then it's like, yeah, in just a short 10 years or whatever, as long as you do this work. And yeah, so I'm very much in alignment with that way of thinking. I think that some of the best things that you have to build the foundation, and then so you have something to grow on. Structurally with your finances, but then also structurally with your business. If you don't have that structure and you had a big windfall, it's like everything just breaks.
Totally.
So
And this is
yeah.
why I was like gonna be like, okay, you take the mic now, because this is exactly, you know, what you have brought, and your it's your mind, it's your energy, it's your experience, like you've brought to my business, is like an even higher level of like infrastructure to
Mhm.
hold that, you know, because one of my complaints, I love having complaints and feeling disappointed. It's very enjoyable for me. So one of them when I, you know, met you was like, okay, so I have you know, consistent 7-figure revenue,
Yeah.
and I'm taking home like less than half. Like, what's up with that? And you're like, that's not cool. And
Yeah.
here's why. And you did, you know, the troubleshooting to help me see like, and again, this is how I think of it. It's like, oh, there's like more masculine energy that can be brought to hold, you know, even more
Mhm.
of the energy and grow my capacity, because it's going to come in. I'm going to feel like it's not just going to be like, blah, 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 you know, like it's going to have like a strong place for reception. And so, yeah, you have so many amazing things to offer in that specific realm. And I'm sure people hear that.
Well,
Like, is she
thank
not
you.
talking?
No, I appreciate that. That's maybe a good segue as well, but because I think it's a beautiful just like point, because there's, you know, yes, you have to have the structural piece, but then e- I think if I could ask one more question, then maybe I'll like pivot into
Of
what I
course.
have some things shared. But you know what, I'm present to the um skill or the practice that you have of being able to continually look back at yourself with like a projection, or like something's going on, or like your complaint. The complaint isn't about the complaint. You like take the complaint, you're like, what is that about me? And knowing that like that's in your training, and just like for, because I think that that is kind of the point of entrepreneurship as a, like, what are we doing here on this little planet for a little bit of time? It's like, and I feel like entrepreneurship offers a container in which things can pop up for us to do the work that you do, maybe like effortlessly, or not effortlessly, but like it's maybe more common or easy for you, or like it's just like maybe natural for those who don't have the training or aren't like in the habit of taking everything and looking back. Is there, you know, what would you say, how do we get better at that? How do we, yeah, how do we get better at looking at the circumstances of life and then using that to alchemize the self?
I love this question, and I have zero training in this whatsoever. I simply got to the point where I was sick of hearing my own shit, and it's possible that everybody else in my life was sick of hearing my shit too. Whether it was like complaining about a relationship, or you know, oh, the launch didn't go the way I want. It was just this like I referenced fetishized disappointment.
Mm,
Um, and so, you know, the simple way to remember this very simple approach to life and practice is a phrase that I use called enter through the upset. So in your life, whether it's
mm,
in your business or on social media, you know, what somebody's saying about you or whatever, you're going to remember, when I feel upset, and at least conscious of it. Because I spent decades of my life feeling upset all the time and having my defensive behaviors so locked in that I literally didn't feel
mm,
anything. I wasn't here and I didn't feel upset. I just felt like, oh, I got to send that email immediately, or I got to reply to that comment. Ugh, you know, disgust really, probably more than anything. So when you feel upset, you're going to literally just pause.
mm,
If you can, go to the bathroom, you know, lock the door. If you're home alone, you know, set a 90-second timer. And you're going to allow whatever sensation accompanies that disappointment. It's the easiest one to work with, honestly, because for most of us, that's how the eggs from the hardware store thing manifests.
mm,
So you're going to feel that disappointment, right? So like a big one for me, I'm big on like timetables and deadlines and timelines, and like you know, I would have vendors like not complete things in the
mm,
time that they said they would. And I'd be like, Again, nobody's reliable, and so I could, if I chose, I don't always do this. However, I know at least now that when I don't do it, that I'm choosing not to, just sit with myself and feel the sensations. Why would you do that? Okay. So first of all, that's a part of that masculine container. That's a part of how you show your body you give enough of a shit to be here with yourself. And simply being with the sensations confers that on a meta level. And then once you let the whole wave move through, you're going to start to see what emotional alchemy is all about. Because when we were kids and we cried, what were we told? Calm down, stop crying. Maybe I'll give you something to cry about, right? We did not ever, I shouldn't generalize so much, but I don't think many of us like saw the full arc of tears to see that they have an end. Right. So now as adults, like we feel a little bit of upset and we're like, how do I not feel this? Right. What do I have to say or write? Or who do I have to convince that I'm right about being wronged? Like urgently. And, or we just distract ourselves, right? Maybe you start scrolling or you get a beer or whatever. And the actual emotional arc is like minutes long, maybe less, where you'll get to something different if you just take the time, seconds, to attend to it. And this meta practice of like being with yourself. So what you might get in terms of messaging, or insights could really surprise you, especially once you start. You just got to do this like once or twice to just be in like the attitude of like, what's interesting here? It's curiosity, right? It's the antidote to fear. It's like, what's interesting here? And so like for me, I have had armies of, trolls and haters, let's say, and the public, for my entire career. Like no matter, I just keep picking topics that people like want me to shut up about pretty much. And so I could, just try to make sure everybody likes what I'm saying, like, or I could make a practice out of my haters, right? And I could, look at the comments occasionally and find one that like feels like something in my body and sit with that, let the feeling blossom, maybe even allow it to get even bigger. And then I might, I do like this rubric of like, feel it, face it, free it. So then I might face it and I might be like, is there any way that I could let that be true for a second? Right. So somebody says, I'm an attention seeking whore narcissist who needs to shut up and stay in her lane. That may or may not be an actual quote. And I might, like break that apart and be like, is it possible I'm a narcissist? Possible, totally possible, totally possible. Is it possible I'm attention seeking? It's 100% true. And is it possible that I like should stay in my lane? Well, guess what? There is a very loud part of me that agrees with that, right? A very loud part of me that says, Kelly, stay in your lane. Talk about gluten, talk about, psych meds, and shut up about everything else. Okay. Nobody wants to hear it. You're making a mess of your life. So you'll find that things only bother you if there is a part of you that agrees, and you can't meet that part. You'll just want to convince that part that that part is wrong if you haven't allowed the sensations to exist first. So that's why if you just remember one thing, it's like the enter through the upset opportunity that being upset represents, and then it gets fun. And like even, with my friends, like I'll have a friend be like my girlfriend, my best girlfriend, like 2 weeks ago, she's like, Kelly, I didn't want to know like what you thought. I didn't ask you for your opinion. Like I gave her my like opinion about her life situation. She didn't ask for it. And I was just like, this is what's going on. I see it so clearly, and I'm telling her this, and I felt shame. This is like literally my friend since I was 11. Okay. I felt ashamed and I felt that desire to defend myself. So when I sat with the sensation, okay, and it's easy to do with a best friend, okay, but you can bring this to any arena of your life. I was able to not act from the sensation and instead come back to her. I don't know, we were voice noting. So like maybe 5 minutes later, and be like, you know what? I'm really working on that. I'm really working on, like, thank you for being patient with me. Like, I totally see that. Okay, that, whatever that is, was not available to me on a body level, earlier in my life, but it will be when you make a practice out of it. And then I feel proud of myself because I'm like, look at me, like I can own my shit. It feels powerful. You become almost like a kind of invincible. That is so much less exhausting than being right all the time. Take it from me.
Oh, that's brilliant. I feel like, yeah, that will be my practice. The better I get at that, I'm sure my wife will appreciate that. No,
You
my,
seem like unflappable. I like
oh,
can't even imagine you upset, but
oh no,
I'll
it's
take her word for it.
yeah, take her word for it. It happens. Beautiful. Interesting. Like you mentioned that you, yeah. So for me recently, like as we've grown our business, we have been running ads and we like grow we're being seen by more people. And the more that I am seen, the more haters show up on the feed. And it's like, I'm like, wow, there's some like, it's a relatively new thing for me to engage with this. And I love, how you mentioned the, like the haters are the gurus.
Yeah.
In that they offer you something to sit with, they offer you something to look at. And in this case, like the speed at which you could grow is like really exponential, because the more you grow, the more haters you get, the more you can sit with your work, and it's like this beautiful kind of upward spiral that's maybe not beautiful at all, but it's like it's what a great frame. Feel it, face it, free it. That's the work there.
Yeah.
I love that. And so like I'd like to share, I'm going to take this opportunity to pivot a little bit and talk like, because what I'm going to share, none of it works without that. Like none of the stuff I'm going to share, the strategy, the how to actually build a business model that gives you freedom, that where you can earn 20, 30, 50, 100K a month, like things that are seemingly impossible, are totally possible with the right model. But you also have to approach business with the right mindset, which is like what you've so brilliantly kind of shared and like given us some insight into how you do it for yourself. And is no wonder why your business continues to expand. And then you can look at build more capacity, more structure, and then be able to receive more. And I'm really excited to be able to collaborate in that way with you. So thank you so very much. Before I kind of pivot into, I've got some slides. I have to, probably my more masculine. I'm like, I need some structure, order things. So I've got some slides that I'm going to share with you guys. Before I do, I would love to know in the chat, what did you catch? What did you most need to hear? What'd you like? What'd you learn? Because it's not about what is taught. It's about what's caught. What did you catch? What was the notes that you took? And yeah, light it up. For me, I mean, so many great gems in there, but for me, just the last point, feel it, face it, free it, is a great frame that I'll be using for all my haters. So bring it on, haters.
I could do a coaching trade. I can help you with that.
Yeah, perfect.
It's fun. It ends up being fun, actually.
Oh, take it. Do the shitty thing. Totally. Dance with the fact that people will love you and they won't. Don't apologize for wanting. Do the shitty thing for sure. Yeah. Amazing. All right. While you guys are dropping down what you caught, I am going to take a quick minute and see if I can share some screens. Let me see if I can pivot around and share some things. Can you all see my fancy slides? Yes, nice. All right, let me get a couple more of these. You feel powerful when you own your shit. Hell yeah. Learn how to feel your fucking feelings. Amen. Potential and possibilities after facing your limits. Yep. And thank you. Lots of gratitude for you, Kelly. Beautiful. Thank you. All right. So let's go. We're just going to pivot right into it. I mean, so my intention here is to the back end piece of this conversation around like, what does, if you approach your business with this kind of self-reflective approach, then what does the business model look like? And I want you to imagine for a second, imagine that you added an extra 20, 30, 50, whatever number sounds good, $10,000 a month in recurring revenue over the next 12 months. Recurring revenue means it just comes every month, not passive. Like it's not like the passive income where you don't do anything, but it's recurring in that you can count on it. So imagine that for a second. And then while also imagining working less hours, simplifying your sales process, getting clients better results, and having more fun. Okay. You be present to that. I'm curious, just like if you had that extra money, what would change for you? That amount. Let's just use 20K for the example. But if you had that extra cash flow coming in, what would be different? Just drop it in the chat. Freedom. Yeah, like what would change about your life? So there's also like whenever there's a big promise, this is what I'm going to share with you, by the way, like how to do this, how to create this kind of business. Okay. That's what I'm going to share in the slides that are coming up. And I just saw weekly massages. Heck yes. There's always like a big important disclaimer whenever there's like big fancy promises. Okay. There should always be the flip side. So here's the disclaimer. In order for this to work, you have to be an actual expert. You have to genuinely care about people and recognize that your income is directly related to the value that you provide and your ability to be authentically you. And I'm going to share some like results, clients and my own. And I'm also just going to say they're not typical. They're difficult to achieve. Nothing about growing a business is easy. Do the shitty thing, do the hard thing, do those things first. Okay. And all completely possible. But there's an order of things. I love having that frame. So I'm going to be sharing some pieces. And this is, if this isn't for you, there's like an invitation. You don't have to stick around because time is like incredibly valuable. And so if this isn't going to be of high service to you, you might want to duck out, and that's totally cool. So who this is for, like if you are a health professional, you're a practitioner, a coach, you want to build like a relationally focused business, you're a lifelong learner of like self and just like learning, you're committed to creating something amazing, you are a leader, you have or are willing to charge premium prices for what you do, and you want to build a lifestyle business that does think 10 to 100K a month. Okay. And you're an actual expert at what you do. If this is you, then you're going to get some value out of today. If like who this isn't for is if you sell primarily like physical products. This is for service people. Typically the heart on the sleeve type of service people. If you are selling like MLM, this might not work. If you don't have the experience or certifications or specialized skill sets, something of value to offer, there's like maybe not the best one for you. If you have a get rich quick mindset, again, maybe not the right time. If you're unwilling to charge the high, premium for your service, unwilling to take responsibility for your life and your business, and unwilling to commit the time that it takes, then this, might not be the right training for you. Cool? Casually watching numbers. Nobody left. Oh, okay. Awesome. Great. In that case, I am assuming that y'all are my people. And so I'm giving myself permission to speak freely, homies. So what I'll be covering is two things. We're going to talk about foundations of building an online business. And then secondly, what we call like a new earth health pro coaching model. And it kind of comes from like Eckhart Tolle's book, like A New Earth, and this discovering of purpose, and just kind of like a mix match of a bunch of ideas over the course of 15 years. But it's turned into this beautiful framework that allows us to, I use every day in my own business and with my clients. And so I'm excited to share that with you. Just having this will be incredibly helpful for you on a day-to-day kind of way. Okay. So before I dive in, maybe you've seen these kinds of slides, but there's an old way of building these online businesses that is like ripe for transmutation. And the old ways it's a particular mindset. But let me know if this like resonates, if anybody is familiar or perhaps like building a business in this way. Income roller coaster. Every month you got to start over. You don't know where your next client's going to come from. You're stuck in a funnel building hell. You have no leverage. It's not really that fun. You're building a business that you grow to hate because you're doing all the things that are all of a sudden like not your passion. Or, so that's like very common that was, my business for a lot of years. But there's a new way where you can create steady, predictable income, monthly recurring revenue, low tech stress, and you can invest that, stability allows you to invest in your team, and it can be fun and scalable. So the way that I would describe these two different ways and what I'm going to share here today is like the old way. We're going to call this the marketing bro way, which is click funnels. Let's build some funnels. And you're going to move people through this funnel. And underneath it all, there's a transactional mindset that's the way of building. It's transactional. You're looking at people as numbers. You're looking at people as not as people, really. It's just like moving people through a machine. There's a different way to do it that focuses on building community. And the type of people who build it are community leaders. You still have to get traffic. You still have to have some of the foundations, but it's more relational, and the mindset that goes with it underneath is it's transformational. So it's transformational you're transforming yourself as a leader, you're transforming the lives of your clients, and you just have a transformational mindset. And the model that you choose, just checking in, which mindset do you have, or are you building? Is it more transactional? Is it more transformational? I'm looking at two different screens here. If you have a transformational mindset, or you're building that capacity, then you got to make sure that your business is in alignment with that mindset. So the quick story of like who I am and why you might want to listen to this piece. If you want the whole story, you go to Instagram, the Dan Harrison. There's a Start Here guide that actually has like the whole story. But the Coles Notes version is when I was 20, I went $500,000 in debt trying to do a land development deal with no skills, making $8 an hour as a server. And that was in 2007, right before the credit collapse. And that happened because they lent money to people like me with no skills, no idea. And then I was in the bank so much trying to not go bankrupt that they gave me a job. And that led to a 15-year career. Basically, became a certified financial planner. I sold insurance and investments. I learned the system from the inside out and realized, similar to Kelly, that's like, oh, that entire industry is not what I thought. And the people that I'm trying to, like, this doesn't serve the people that I'm trying to serve. This, in fact, leeches off of them. It is the world's largest skimming operation. I will try not to go into it too much, but it's just like, my quick point on it is we live in a world where 43% or more of our money goes to taxes, and then 30% or more of that money goes to banks and debts. And then we get to live off of the piddly 20% that we're left with, and then think we're free. It's like, it's just between inflation, taxes, interest, like it's the world's largest skimming operation. So anyways, once I saw it, I couldn't like stay in it. So I left in 2016 and I had to let go of my licenses. I had to let go of the only way I'd ever known money and go online and become a money coach, whatever that is. And, but what I did, looking back, that was smart is I built a business that had a monthly recurring revenue. And in 2019, that monthly recurring revenue allowed me to sell that business. And it's because monthly recurring revenue, like one thing that it does is it
Try to set this off.
oh, hey man.
What do you
There's a like you talk about feeling safe or in your body and having like the contain, like when you don't have to worry about where your money is going to come from, your nervous system can calm the fuck down. And just like you can have, there's like a freedom in that. And so anyways, in 2019, we sold that business. I was able to pay off, a good chunk of debt. COVID happened. We were in Canada and we bounced. We're like, no, we're heading over to Mexico. I went there with Alexander. Canada was weird. And I was a beach bum for a couple of years and we, started to build the business that we have now. And, for me, we ended up getting pregnant again in Mexico, moved back. I have a family. It's kind of like, this is my life. My everything that I do is just like for the fam. And I'm grateful that somewhere along the road, I figured out how to build a business that could sustain me in a way that my nervous system is chill and it can provide for our family. And I have freedom, which interesting hearing you talk earlier, Kelly. It's like the masculine money. Like imagine being $500,000 of debt. The only feeling I had was stuckness. And so all I've ever wanted was freedom, is to create like the freedom. And now that becomes like what I get to offer other people. And as I continue to expand my capacity of like, what does that freedom look like for myself? And so anyway, so that's a couple other highlights is I worked with Bob Proctor for 3 years, which was an amazing blessing before he passed away. And he was really the one who taught me about masterminds and community in advance. More recently, this is a shift, is in November of last year, I did something totally different and it changed the way I thought about business, which was we ran a new kind of offer. I've typically only ever sold like high ticket, 10K to 50K kind of programs and packages. But we decided to create a community. So we have, and create a community offer. And we generated $24,000 in monthly recurring revenue, extra money, with a $300 a month offer in 30 days. It was crazy. That's like, oh, wow, that's amazing. And we did it on a platform for school called School. And it was like part of a challenge. I love a good challenge. We won. And that really like changed I was like, oh, wow, there's a whole other arm of a way to do business. And so, but the reason that we were able to do that was because we have foundations. And this is the framework I want to share with you today. And it's and we're going to do a little exercise here. So if you're watching this, I want you to just to make this real. In your business right now, there is likely a bottleneck that you're experiencing, a challenge, a struggle, something that you're dealing with that if it was resolved would free you up to hit the next level goal. And I want you to ask yourself, is the current problem in your business, when I say soul brand, that's the energetics. So like perhaps a limiting belief, an identity issue, an offer issue, a messaging issue, something around that, offer energetics. Strategy is like, I just don't have a strategy or it's not working. There's a system that's missing. There's a level of self-leadership or conviction or not conviction, but like commitment to your own process, or there's like a skill deficiency. And the skill deficiency could be yours, or the skill deficiency could be like, maybe there's like a team member that you need to hire who has that skill. So right now, like in the chat, which one of these is presenting for you as the biggest obstacle, opportunity? That if you, yeah, what sticks out to you, even just intuitively? Strategy, self-leadership, nervous system issue. Yeah, probably like the self, the soul brand, the system. So what you are doing right now is maybe one of the most important skills as an entrepreneur. Being able to identify what the problem is and be able to focus your energy on the right next thing. That's maybe like the most important thing. Because you can spend and waste a ton of time doing the right thing at the wrong time. So this framework, like I look at it every single week and I look at where's the opportunity in my business, and it usually will jump out at me. But you might be thinking, just in case there's anyone who believes like me, like I can imagine like a couple years ago listening to a version of myself now and be like, oh, there's no way that can happen, or like I don't believe that's possible for me, or some version of that, or maybe like, oh, but he's like a business guy, I can't apply that to my health coaching business, something like that. So but I'm super grateful because I hang out with health coaches and professionals all day every day, and it's not just me, it's like a bunch of really rad people. And so just to address some of those maybe limiting beliefs that you may have around it, I want to share just a couple stories. Candace Esposito, naturopathic doctor, charging $200 an hour in a clinic and totally burnt out. Making around 10K a month, but doing it in the classic way. The first thing that happened when she came in is we helped her develop an offer that she was excited about, where she got to bring more of the quantum energy into her work, where it wasn't just like charging for a transactional, time. And she built something that is amazing. I think it's called Quantum Wellness. And she charged $6,000 for it. She enrolled 5 clients, made 30 grand. And it totally, she's like, what is this? She since closed down the clinic, went totally online, and has her own like program that she does. Brad and Jude, they have a 7-figure health wellness clinic that they've built in their own way. They don't take insurance. They've developed their own method. And what I've learned in working with them is like they're amazing with they have a great team. So when you're growing to something that's 7 figures, you can't, like, what gets you to 6 won't get you to 7. And really what you need when you're growing is a team to like at that level. Reese and Michelle, I think I saw them on here. Specimens, human specimens. I think Reese is 71 and Michelle's 57. Michelle is a holistic nutritionist, and they have built 30 to 40K a month lifestyle business, live in Mexico, doing something that they're passionate about. And like, this is their retirement. I don't think they'll retire because they love what they do. Dave Wheel's a men's coach, built a 20K a month business, and he lives in Costa Rica. I have many of these. I'm going to just, what's up, Kelly? We already heard about hers. Okay. There's just like some amazing people who do phenomenal, like it's possible. Okay. I just share these because it's like, they're doing amazing things. It's totally possible for you. And one of the things that has saved us a tremendous amount of time is AI. Okay. So these are my cool AI generated pictures. Little story here. Like all of these people that I've just shared with you, myself, Kelly, at some point in the journey, we've had to make some hard decisions. We've had to make like some bold, maybe courageous. We've listened to the whisper, like Kelly would say. And those decisions have shaped, everything. And when you're choosing to be an entrepreneur, maybe in the beginning, you choose, maybe you want some material things. You want to travel more. You want some more money. You want some, freedom. But pretty quickly, you realize what you actually signed up for was a spiritual, alchemical process of the most wild proportions. And you just kind of have, all of a sudden you're in this spiritual journey, this vortex of of evolution and growth. And it looks maybe a little bit more like this, just kind of a little bit like chaos. Like, oh my God, you're trying to do everything. I'm like, okay, now I'm trying to learn marketing and what is going on. And, but underneath it, it's actually like, this is what's actually going on the surface. It looks like this. And then at some point in your journey, you're like, oh, I should really learn some marketing. And you end up meeting this dude, the marketing bro, where he's like, got the funnels and got all the things, and he looks fancy. And it's good. He has the skill sets, right? He has these skill sets. He's built this business, but there's a trap here. It's a scale trap, because you might build a business that you grow to hate because it's not in alignment with the way that you want to build it. And you learn from these guys, and you end up building something that isn't actually what you want. And you end up creating a business where you're like free, but really you are like stuck just like before, because you've built something that isn't in alignment for you. And I know for me, the things that matter is like building a business that is like where I get to build my business around my life, not the other way around. Like a lot of people build their life around their business. And to me, let's see if I can, my little pad. Oh, it does work. I've always looked at, not always, but like I look at what wealth is, and it has to have the three elements. You can't have one, like you can't only have one. You can't only have money. It's relationships and it's health. If you only have one of, like if you have two, if you have relationships and money but no health, no, you're not wealthy. If you have health and money but no relationships, are you wealthy? No. If you have relationships and health but no money, are you wealthy? No. And so it's like building a business that allows you to have the full range of what wealth is what we're doing, what we're trying to help people do. And we're doing that through this process of like, hey, there's a different way. And it's focused on community. It's focused on you being a leader, and it's focused on having a transformational mindset. Is this making sense so far? Y'all still with me? Yeah. Awesome. So in both cases, like in both of these businesses, actually, let me in the chat, can you drop, what is your biggest challenge in business? What do you feel is your biggest challenge? I'm going to keep going, but I would love to know that. One of them that inevitably comes up is like, how do I get new clients? And the gap, both of these work for finding, like, how do you take an internet stranger and have them become a client? And yeah, okay. So, yep. The gap is actually bridged by something called influence. This is actually the missing ingredient, is influence. And when you know this, this is a powerful insight. If you don't have influence, it's very difficult to attract internet strangers and have them become clients. But influence is just very simply like having them know, like, and trust you. That's what influence means. And you've probably heard that, right? And you've probably only ever done business with people that you know, like, and trust, at least initially. So how do you build that? And I don't know about you, but like, I'm not really interested in being an influencer. I'm not trying to do TikTok reels and like pose in front of fancy cars and be like cool. I'm like, somewhere in my journey, I turned into a dad of two. Like, I'm just not that cool. But what I realized is I don't have to be an influencer to everybody. In fact, I don't want to. But I do want to be an influencer to a small group of really awesome people. And I want to build a community of like-minded, rad people who get it. And so when I realized like, oh, if I could just build community, that changes the way that I've built my business. And for simple, like communities, the way I look at it, you might get to know that I have a thing with alliteration and it helps me remember stuff. So communities are just things that help you build connection. And in the online world, you know, a lot of us would probably agree it's easier to build connection in person. But in the online space, the things that allow you to build intimacy and connection with people is you do things like this that we're doing right now, which is you put on events, you put something in the calendar and you get together and you chat with people on your phones and in the messengers. You have content and courses that people consume and you engage in the community in comments. These are the things that breed connection. This is what a community is, like in the online space. But here's the unlock. This is incredibly valuable. And I hadn't really I don't think I didn't see it. But having a small group of like-minded people who were engaged, showing up for events, consuming content, learning together, chatting with each other, supporting each other is incredibly valuable. So much so that people would pay to be part of those communities. And this actually creates a really interesting cycle where you invite people to your community and people then become your clients. Okay, so this is the big idea, all right? That there's like a way of building your business by focusing on community, and it makes getting clients easy. You're only really working with aligned clients. Does this make sense? It's also like the vehicle that allows for building a monthly recurring revenue in your business. I've heard different versions of this quote, but it's like people come for the healing, but then they'll stay for the community. People come for the coaching, but they'll stay for the community. If you can build and hold a space, because community is healing in itself. And something cool about like building a community is it becomes like your little corner of the internet that you get to be your little weird self, little weird kinky self, and share your beliefs and your, you know, what you think are interesting. And there are, I feel like right now there's just like a level of isolation that if we could bring more like-minded people together on the internet, and then also like being able to go offline, just like building community, focusing on that. It's to me anyway, this becomes the focus. It's not really about calculating my funnel returns. It's like, how's my community doing? Which is a different vibe. Make sense? Yeah. So last thing here, the point of building, there's a great book, 10X is easier than 2X. And he talks about the building your business around the 4 freedoms, or building your life around the 4 freedoms. And this is like the point, to be able to have time, money, relationships, and purpose, and to be able to pursue those things. And so building your business in a way that allows you to approach those or build those and pursue those freedoms is what I see as like the point. And when I think of like this framework came to be as a result of like 15 years in finance, 8 years online, like many failed experiments and hundreds of clients, and being able to see like, it can be simple. And what I will wrap up this chat with, I want to give you something that's like tangible takeaway. And also, if you're still here, I know that we've gone over, but if you're still here and you're interested, I do have an offer at the end of this workshop, but I'll only offer it if you actually want to hear it. So there will be because one of the things that makes the internet spammy is people making offers to people who don't want to hear them. So at the end, I'm going to explain these 3 things. If you want to hear it, you're invited to stay. And if you don't want to hear it, you're invited to leave. Cool? So 3 things real quick. When we talk about building this kind of business, the first thing is your offer. And I'm going to give you a quick checklist. When you build your offer, it needs 4 things. Aligning with a deeper purpose. It's kind of like the underlying. So to Kelly's point, it's like that pain, and being able to transmute that underneath that, that's the purpose. And then your business has to solve a problem. Your business, or you should want to work with a particular type of person that you're passionate about working with. You want your service to have a promise. This is what like if you work with me, this is what I promise. And lastly, your unique process for delivering the promise. And the clarity of these things will dictate your price. Does that make sense? The more clear you are on the problem that you solve, the person you solve it for, the promise and your process that in alignment with your purpose determines your price. In case you're wondering, like, what's the order of things? Because again, this is a very helpful frame if you're just starting. The concept is you build down so you can scale up. Don't do what I did and start with a course. When my wife and I were getting married, I was like, babe, this is going to be awesome. I'm going to build a course and we can just get married and travel the world and we'll have passive income. It's going to be great. And we got married by a shaman in Cyprus and we were going to go travel the rest of Europe, but we had to call that short because my passive income course never really worked out that great. If I had known this before, you start with the most expensive, the highest value thing that you have to offer. And then when I was in finance, that was like helping people understand their finances. And then what happens is, if I had to talk about budgeting one more time, I was going to shoot myself. So boring. I'm like, no, I can't do another spreadsheet. And so guess what I made? A resource of a video of me talking and the spreadsheet, and like, you do it. And I didn't have to have that conversation again. And you probably have those in your business, like things that you do all over. Like, that's what a course is. You're just streamlining a process. Does that make sense? And so you build these assets and then you build down and you scale up. Cool. For time, I'm going to skip over this one. But if you are charging by the hour, stop that as soon as possible. And charge based on an outcome. And get better at delivering that outcome. That's the game. That's the game. And so if you are charging by the hour, my invitation is to find some way to feel confident enough to charge $3,000 for a program, for a process, for, let's say it's 90 days or 12 weeks, whatever it is. Find a way to stand in that, to package what you're offering in a way that you can confidently say, this is what I charge. There's a lot of reasons for $3,000 specifically, but for offers, I'm just going to leave it at that. Number 2 is the strategy. Okay. Very simple. This is the simple stuff. 1 is you create an offer. Number 2 is you're like, well, how do I get clients? This is what we've been doing. It's so stupid simple. And it just works. Okay. If you don't like posting every day or doing the TikTok dance and all that stuff, you can just do one post and boost it on Instagram to your exact people who want to see it. Which is ads. So you spend a bit of money. All right. The next thing is create some content that lets people know who you are. This is kind of a cool thing that we figured out. When people follow you, we have an AI bot that has conversations for us. It's amazing. It totally weird. It's so weird. When I first watched, I was sitting on the couch with my wife. I'm like, babe, look at this. It's just having full blown conversations in my voice, in my tone, better than me. It's wild. This alone has saved me so much time, like 20 hours a week or more. This is like amazing leverage. And then lastly is we talk with people and then we make offers. That's it. Like if you're looking to get to 10K a month, let's say, this would literally be, this is all you have to do. You invite people who are a perfect fit to follow you. Then you say hi to them and you have a chat conversation. And if they're a fit, you make an offer. But we overcomplicate it and do all these crazy things, but this is it. The AI thing is super freaky. Like AI is wild. Yeah, the content is, so literally it would be like, who are you? How do you help? And then you don't need a ton. You need maybe like a handful of pieces of content that nurture. So one like shift on this that I'll mention here is we used to try to create content to, get clients. We don't do that anymore. We create content for people who are already following us and they just want to like know us a little bit better. Way easier content to create. Then what happens is, so when people come in and they make offers, here's how the math breaks down. 5% of the people are going to be ready to buy something. They're actually interested. And 95% of people won't be. So you're going to hear no or get rejected or have a bad lead 95% of the time. Are you okay with that? Because that's kind of like, that's how it just works. But then what happens is if you invite them into your community, paid community, just free content, you're doing chat, you're doing events like this, what happens is they become ready over time. And when they're ready, they join your program. And you can do this really cool thing where you can send ads to those people so that they don't forget you. Does that make sense? This is the strategy. Okay, and number 3, is this interesting? I've got one more slide. It's a little bit, this is only if you, this might be overwhelming. Let me preface this one. This is my last slides. Good question. Yeah, I can answer some questions too. These ads are only going to followers or people who have had a conversation with. But this ad up here is basically going out into the world and saying, hey, if you're a health professional or a practitioner or a spiritually minded individual who's trying to grow your business and doesn't want to do it in a marketing bro way, follow my page. I give you some tips and ideas on how to do that. And then that's what this content is. And that's all I do. And then people follow me who are perfect people because you can just target them directly. Trying to do things organically is so slow and frustrating. When for a little or like a couple bucks, it can just be fast and easy. It comes down to like, do you value time or money more? Okay, last thing, and then I'm going to wrap up. And then I'm going to ask you the same question. What'd you like? What'd you learn? What'd you catch? And we'll wrap this up. Cool? Thank you all for staying. I know we went a little bit longer today, but hopefully getting some value out of this. This is the like underneath the strategy, underneath there's like a machine that you can build over time. And I'm going to show you the machine. Okay. I'm also, can I just get if you look at this, what did your body just do? Did it get overwhelmed? Is it like a spread? You're like, oh God, don't show me this. I warned you. Okay. I warned you. But let me just break it down real quick. Okay. This is the strategy. Instagram, AI bot, and ads. Okay. That's what I just talked about before. This is the offer that you create. So that's just the offer, right? And then what we do is we run these, we call them workshops that don't matter. Okay. This hopefully you can see the humor in this. I'm also going to show you exactly like what we do. You're kind of experiencing it right now. So welcome. You've just come to a workshop that doesn't matter. Why did I say that? I mean, hopefully you got tons of value from it. We showed up and delivered what we said we were going to. But the reason it doesn't matter is because when people register for a workshop like this, there's an invitation to book a call. Maybe some of you saw that. Maybe some of you booked a call. In fact, I know we had 470 people register for this event, and 46 people booked appointments, booked calls before the workshop. The workshop doesn't matter. 46 people already booked a call. Kind of cool, right? Pretty interesting. So that is part of the strategy. Then what happens is we create these great workshops and we put them inside of our community as a replay. Hey, and then we invite people to go check out replays and join our community. Does that make sense? And then when people are ready, they typically watch a video and they go through a process where they set, qualify them, sell, close them, and keep them. This is the sales part. Still overwhelming? Not too overwhelming, right? Like it's pretty, it can be simple. There's like an ad and some AI and an IG. There's like a really good offer that you love. Then you do presentations where you talk about the thing that you created. You stick it all in a community. And then when people are ready, they come into your world and they become clients. And then if you want to get real fancy, you can set up these like email things. And then you get like these automations. Y'all are probably going to get some this weekend. Cool. I'm just telling you, like that. Like we only do what we teach and what we do. Like here's what's working. You want something that's working real good. Okay. Last thing I want to share is just this idea, because sometimes we set these goals. Let's use 30K as an example. I just want to get to 30K a month, 20K a month, whatever that goal is. Somebody told me this, a couple of months ago. They're like, $300 a month is more than 30K. I'm like, huh? That math ain't mathing. That doesn't make sense. What do you mean 300 a month is more than 30K? He's like, just think about this for a second. If you focused on, think about, let me do this. Two different entrepreneurs. One is building towards a business that has 100 clients who pay $300 a month. The minute that happens, if that was your goal, you don't have to sell anymore. You just serve. You're just serving. You're serving your community, and you're actually just like attempting to keep them. Versus, let's say you have a 3K offer, you constantly have to sell 10 new clients every month without end to make the same 30K. Does that make sense? So when you're building, I'm not saying that one is better than, like, I think you should do both of these things. But as a exit plan, or like how do you get off the hamster wheel? If you're not building something that creates some monthly recurring revenue for you, then you'll constantly be stuck only with this. Make sense? And this is the trap that so many coaches get on, even when they are like successful and they start growing, they end up in the scale trap with the marketing bros. It's like, because this is what they're doing. Does that make sense? Okay. I would love to know. Community could be a membership. Same thing. Community membership, but I would argue for like not like a $47 community. I mean like let's say your offer is $3,000. I think a $300 a month community. It's like 1/10. It's basically even if you thought of it simply this way, instead of, if somebody's like, oh, I can't afford 3,000, you're like, could you afford 300 a month and pay for it over the course of the year? Most people can do that, right? And so then creating some environment where you're delivering value, but it's done over time. The result will be slower. And then what happens is that's what people are paying for. They're paying for speed. Does that make sense? All right, beautiful. I would love to know what'd you like, what'd you learn, what'd you catch, what was interesting to you around business models, building your business in this way. Drop it in the chat. Let me know if that was helpful. Scaling down. Yep. IG ads to get followers and only ads to followers to get paying clients. Yep. Nice. Good takeaway. AI bots. Yikes. Stop being a wage slave. Yes. Sole purpose strategy. Beautiful. All right. Well, beautiful humans, I thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Kelly, so much for sharing your wisdom. And I think this is going to be fun, like the collaborations that we've got planned, and really excited for that. And yeah, everybody who is still here, thank you for spending some extra time with us and being with us. And like I mentioned, I do have an offer. So if you're interested in that, and you want to stick around, then you can stick around, and I'd love to share it with you. I think it's pretty good. I think it's maybe one of the best offers we've ever made. So I've got that to share. And if the room totally empties out, then I will just close this down. But if you're still here, give me a thumbs up. Let me know. And if you're not, if you don't want to hear this, totally get that. Feel free to exit now. I would hate to offer you something if you really didn't want to hear it. Cool beans. Get out of here. No, I'm just joking. Okay, cool. Still here, still here. All right. Okay, awesome. Okay, you asked for it. This part is always so weird. Anybody else have that? I sometimes feel it. But today is a special day, and I've got something really cool. So y'all are lucky. Here's the deal. Here is the deal. We have our community. Okay. So we have our community of New Earth health coaches. And in the community, we do, there's 4 things in this community. There is weekly coaching with me and Alexander. Oh, let me move my head. And we bring the heat. Okay. So this like full warning, like you probably, like if you're not ready for it, we bring it. We work with people one-on-one, and it's not like, I don't know, I've been in lots of lame coaching containers. This is not that. We teach you stuff, and we teach you these pieces. So that happens every week on Monday. Number 2 is we have our content. And we have all of our courses, how to do the Instagram ads, how to do the content, how to build offers, how to leverage AI, everything. You have our content, which basically helps supporting in each of these frameworks. Okay. So you get all of our courses. Number 3 is the community. We also don't let everybody in. Okay. So like, we have a strict no marketing bros. This is only like health professionals. So everybody in this community is freaking awesome. High vibe, super supportive, up to big things. And we're building, like we want to just build the most epic community. Okay. And then number 4 is all the tech stuff we've purchased and brought it and are able to offer it for free for our community members. So an entire CRM, so all of the, like where to house the courses, your a school community is included in this. The emailers, the funnel builders, the AI bots, all that techie stuff. If you went to purchase that stuff just by itself, it's like $890 a month. Just the tech stuff. But we purchased it all in a lump sum, and now we can give it to our clients for free when they're in our membership. Cool? So these are the 4 things that are in our community. But today, and like right now, I'm going to do, there's like 3, let's say extras, 3 extra bonuses. Number 1 is normally this community is $500 a month. But right now, it's $400. Okay. Number 2, anybody who registers today is going to get a one-on-one call with me, which is more than $400. Okay. But if you register today, you get one-on-one call with me. And what we've created is we've created like a 14-day fast track path. Okay. So like our idea here with this community is like, if we can help you build a $3,000 offer and sell 2 of them in the first month, you would pay for the entire year. Right? So that's kind of the game that we're playing. Like, how can we get that into speed and do that? And we've created like a 14-day fast track to do that, to help you craft the offer, do the post you need to do, talk to the people. We can coach you and help you to get a client in your first month. But this 14 days is basically, there's 0 risk. So the way we've got this is you can join. And in 14 days, if you don't get a client, you find my Canadian accent annoying, or for whatever reason, you just like don't want to hang out, or this community isn't a fit, you just let us know. We give you a full refund, 100%. Money back. If it ain't a fit, it ain't a fit. But in that way, you would get to join, have a one-on-one call. You have 14 days to implement what we teach you. Best case scenario, you land 2 clients and pay for an entire year. Worst case scenario is you learn some stuff and then you ask for a refund. Cool. That's my offer. So on that note, if you're interested, I'm going to do one thing here. And I'm going to drop a link to our community. And I'm going to hang out for 5 minutes and I can answer any questions. And if you want to join, you totally can. The one-on-one offer is something that will be for this community, or like this call. This is not something I offer. How do I? Oh no, somebody sent me a message. And now I can't get it to everybody. Did that link work? I've changed it to $400. If you want to join, that's the link. You can just join the community. And again, what will happen is you'll meet with Gustavo. He'll onboard you, point you in the right direction, give you a bit of a game plan, set you up with a call with me, and we'll map your plan to grow your business. And yeah, if you have any questions, you can drop them in. Happy to answer them. If we join the community beyond the 14 days, do we commit to a minimum number of months? So like, we would love for you to commit to 6 months. And if life happens and you have to leave, that's chill. Like, we're pretty chill, honestly. The way I look at it is, we would love to work with you for years. And this is the starting point. And if we can, like, a lot of people will pause and then they'll come back, and we're good with that. We're not going to try and lock anybody into working with us. If I love my course and community platform, yep, totally. So our stuff integrates with your stuff. So if you love, you're on Kajabi or you already have things set up, you would just use the pieces that would be new or relevant for you. And we basically just show you what that is. We've got checklists and maybe you just use the AI bot, for example, or maybe you need an emailer. And it all integrates with everything. Yes. Could you expand on the why of crafting a 3,000? Yes. So $3,000 offer is important specifically because it takes into account the cost of running your business. It takes into account the cost of acquiring a client. Most professionals or practitioners are just paying for their time, and they don't equate the time and energy it takes to acquire a client, whether that be in time, energy, or advertising. And so $3,000 is a magic number in the sense that it allows you to advertise profitably. It's not necessary. Like it could be, you could start at 2, but you want to be building towards, you always want to be raising your prices. I'll tell you that, like, nobody wants to work with the discount coach. So you should be always moving towards, how can I provide more value? How can I be more confident? How can I be more clear and growing into that expansion? So the offer will be, but the one-on-one calls won't be. The one-on-one is my bonus, if you will. I think that's how they do these things. Does this work for someone starting out? Totally. This is honestly, if you're just starting out, this is the best place for you to go. I will save you tens of thousands of dollars not going into really expensive programs. And I will save you a ton of time. If you're just starting out, like we kind of created this for anybody who's like under 10K. But even if you're over 10K a month, there's things in here that will help you grow and expand. What if I'm still creating a website? I don't have a landing page. Do you have coaching page, sales page? Should I get my website up? What if I told you you didn't even need a website? Oh my God, what if I told you that? I mean, oh God. Here's a crazy stat. We sold hundreds of thousands of dollars with a Google Doc, no website, a Google Doc that just had some words on it, some black words on a white piece of paper. Okay, like we get stuck in these funnel building hells that ultimately prevent us from just connecting with humans. Like that's all that actually. So we give you like the streamlined stuff and just be like, just do this and get a client and then serve them and then do it again. So, and it's like totally, if you want a website, like we can do that. But if you're asking like which one first, I would say like offer, talk to people, make money. Don't worry about the website. I'm confused. Do you have a second offer for 3K, 5K, or are you saying to only do this community model? Great question. I would say start with like your main offer. So like start with something that you can charge 3K for, like if you're just starting. And then as you build assets, you build it down. So then you grow to a community. And then you can sell courses. And then you can sell other things that give you more scale, but are honestly like they come with different challenges. So the easiest way to get to 10K, 20K is create one really great offer. And then as you're building assets, then you add in group calls and you start to be able to build community in that way. Let me know if that answered that question. I feel super confident about my 4-month program for 2K. Awesome. Great. 100%. I could help you restructure that so that you can charge 3K and it be, yes, easy. That's what I do. I eat offer creation for breakfast. I'll have you charging 5K by lunch. How long is the one-on-one call? These are 30 minutes. And they are powerful. They are potent. You will come prepared and I will blow your mind. $400 a month, community access. No, yeah, if you join the community, you get the one-on-one call. which I would normally charge, like it's $1,000 an hour. So even if you just came for that and you just wanted a one-on-one call, you wanted me to look at your business, I would do that. And if even after that, you're like, nah, this guy's weird, then just get a refund. We don't have to hang out after that. Does that make sense? So come in, get a one-on-one call. What's the commitment you recommend in order for this to be worth it? I would say give it 6 months. Like commit to coming in and doing it. Like we hold, like people who come into this community, we hold them to like a high standard. It's like if you come in, we have like daily non-negotiables, and we will help, kind of like in the way that the Vital Mind Reset is like an initiation to take responsibility for yourself. We have a version of that here, but you do that as an entrepreneur and you build that trust with yourself and then you share it in community. It's freaking potent and awesome. I like answering questions. I should have just done this. The difficulty I face is finding a way to not cut into my high ticket offer with the riches of community. Totally. That's a great point, and like needs to be navigated. So that comes down to pricing and framing. So there's definitely like a way to do it. We've been navigating this for about 6 months, and we don't have like the perfect solution with this, but it's like, that's a very great, smart point, and you need to be careful about how you do it. Yeah, thanks, Reese. That's a 15, went from 1,500 to 5K USD. That's a client. You saw his shredded body earlier. So grateful for your time. I'm working on my expertise and 3-month course. So after that, cool. Yep. Oh yeah, my price just went up. Thanks, Alexander. For us to start group programs, as in do it yourself, or are these live groups? For us to start group programs, everyone starts at one time, or anyone can join whenever. And can you help us design these? Group program, like we have a framework for offer design that is like, I'm obviously going to be biased, but it's like, it's built in such a way that you can, if you build one offer, it becomes almost like a hybrid machine where you can take the one offer and then create multiple offers from it, but without creating like a bunch of different separate offers. You're bringing like alignment and simplicity into your business. And then you're just like, the way you package that allows you to create different tiers for your clients, so that you can meet your clients better where they're at. Oh, how many hours a week to commit to this? Like, honestly, if you just came to the group coaching calls and did like 1 hour of the work that we tell you to do, you transform your business. If you committed to the 6 daily non-negotiables that we bring and you showed up to the coaching calls, your life and your business would transform in a relatively short amount of time. That I can promise you. Is there an AI bot for XGrok? I don't know. I'm not sure what that is. Did you say we would get at least one within the 14 days? Or are you saying, I'm saying we'll get you one in the 14 days. Like, get a client or get a refund. I'm going to be going on vacation through March 13th. What day is it? I don't even know what day it is. Well, hey, you got 14 days. March 13th, like 16 days away. Come in today, get a couple clients, go on vacation with a little extra cash in your pocket. What sort of coaching is happening on the calls? We coach on the 5 core. So every week we teach on either self-leadership, soul branding, strategy, system, or whichever one I didn't mention. Self-leadership, soul brand, strategy, system, skills. And so we coach on that. Yeah. Thanks for asking the questions. I see. Don't return until 13th. Okay. Well, then for you, Laura, if you join today, you get a one-on-one call and we wouldn't start your 14 days till you get back. What if my business is not fully fleshed? Then let's get it fleshed. Come on in. What time? They are 11 o'clock a.m. PST on Monday. And yep. Oh, we still got 58 people in here. All right. Who's on the fence? Who needs some coaching? What's up? Get in here. Da, da, da. Oh, yeah. Good question. Don is a client and also like amazing copywriter. And we have, there's like a lot of crossover between Don and myself. And like navigating what that all looks like as well. If I'm using Kajabi and ActiveCampaign, can I switch to your CRM? You certainly can. And you can you can mostly cancel every other subscription you have. I wouldn't recommend doing it right away, but our software can replace like the majority of your tech stack. Great presentation. Can't wait to work with us. Awesome. Well, can't wait to work with you, Alex. So just to be clear, if we have a 4K offer that's working currently, then the next step is automating everything with courses and community building. So if you have a 4K offer that's working, you just get to capacity. So like until you're like, I don't want to, or I can't take on any more one-to-one clients. And then you start building systems around for scale. And those could be different things. Like it could be a low ticket offer, but it also could just be like systems that unlock bottlenecks for you. Like maybe there's a bottleneck in your sales process. Maybe there's a bottleneck in your getting appointments. So part of that is building a community element to your 4K offer, and that will unlock like a whole new level of scale for sure. Congrats on having a 4K offer that works. Canadians, no, we're US. We don't use the monopoly money. I'm on the fence big time. All right, Rebecca, consider this your push. Get over the fence. There's no risk. If you don't love it, we'll just refund you. Are the coaching calls recorded? 100%. They are recorded. Yep. They're all recorded. And we even have this cool AI thing that like now like gives you the like you can just click the timestamp and it organizes it so you don't have to listen to all my preamble, or sometimes I'm long-winded and you can just be like, I'll skip the long-winded part. You can just go right to the good stuff. That was a new addition. I just have an overlap with another program. Hey, that's great. This is helpful to see. Well, come on over whenever feels good. No pressure. And Tiger Woods had 5 coaches. Just saying. I have 4. Here you have a video or sales page. No, this is it right now. Here I am. Here's the sales page. I literally don't. What I can tell you is it's 4 things. I think this is like also partly why we just do it this way. We're like, come in and check it out. And if you don't love it, just like ask for the refund. We have 4 core softwares. They're all built. We built on Go High Level that's like our white labeled core piece, and it does everything. And then we have an AI assistant that does all your marketing. It will create courses for you. It will create lead magnets for you. It will create emails for you. It's like pretty nuts what AI can do. And then we have the AI bot. And then your own school community is included in that as well, which is pretty rad. Can your tech work in tandem with Searchy? I'll be creating a course. Yeah, totally. It's like you just wouldn't use the school element of our tech stack. You'd maybe use the other pieces. Fathom, I don't know. Are you asking if I'm hungry? Okay, where am I? Okay, awesome. Thank you, Kelly. Thanks for sticking around. You have a money back offer, and I would imagine you recommend having one too. I don't actually recommend having a money back guarantee. I don't recommend, we never do this. Like, honestly, we never do this, but our stuff is good. And the way that, like, in the position that we're in now, it makes sense for us to do it this way. We don't need, like, we're full. We have a great community. We're growing things. And I also know, like, trust is an all-time low in this space. Oh, but so, like, for us and this particular offer, we are doing it. However, like, our main offer, we say it's like no refunds, no cancellations, no guarantees, because our clients that, like, we get the best results with, they don't need that stuff. And when you bring in, like, too many, like, big guarantees, money back, all this stuff, you end up people who need who have, like, that crutch. They don't take full responsibility. So that's been like that's been a huge shift in the way that we market. 100%. Yeah, this can help. This is, like, underneath all the things that we teach is, like, you know, I used to be in finance. I have that whole hat. I got out of $500,000 of debt. I know what the struggle is to be tight financially and creating miracles out of nothing. So there's that. Don't feel like I'm ready. Awesome. Listen to that no's, listen to those yeses. And if it's just a procrastination, you know, check that too. Like, always like the later thing, like, oh, maybe I'll do it later. But then, do we? I'm in. Nice. Let's go. Audacious Desire is getting activated. This offer right now with the one-on-one call is today. It is right now. I mean, if you snuck in, like, at midnight, it'd probably be like, okay, sure. But if you're thinking about it, just get in. This is the coaching on this. If you're thinking about it and it's a maybe, and, like, money loves speed, this being able to make quick decisions is, like, a vital part of being able to create quickly. Also, I'm just going to throw this out there because this comes to mind now. It's like, buy programs the way that you want people to buy yours, if that makes sense. When I pay for my client, like my coaches, I pay in full. You know why? Because I love it when clients pay me in full. And you know what happens? The more I pay my coaches in full, the more people pay me in full. It's weird. I don't know how it all works, but it just does. So just going to throw that out there. Ryan's back on. Okay. Yes, 100%. Good for beginners. Get in there, Ashley. Let's go. Until when do we need to pay for this? You can come in. Like, we would love for you to commit to yourself for 6 months. And if after 1 month something comes up and you can't, that's cool. Like I said, we're not going to, like, we're not like a, you know, a phone contract. The minute we stop providing the value, you are free to leave. And that, like, puts the onus on us to create the freaking best community with the best people. Alex Hormozy has this quote where it's like, make an offer so good people feel silly saying no, stupid saying no. And I, like, a different iteration of that for us is, like, make a community so good that people feel stupid leaving. That's, like, the game that we're playing. I was interested in hearing about your main offer. Yeah, if you come into the community, it's like, like, basically what happens for a lot of people with our main offer is like, if you come into this community, you go through the 14-day on track, you're in momentum, and then it makes a lot of sense to like jump into our main offer, which the main offer is one-on-one coaching with me and Alexander every week. We run your ads for you. We create your content for you. We do everything for you, but it's not cheap. So we all, yeah. So it's like got to be the right fit and at the right time and make sense. Yeah. Does school help you transition your course from another platform if we decide to use it? We have, like, short answer is no. But we, in our community as well, we have like a full-fledged tech guy, and he is awesome. He's from Pakistan. His name is Haider. I've worked with him for 2 years, and you can hire him at the same rates I get, which is like, it's like $8 to $30, depending on the task. And so you also get access to like my whole tech team as well. We do tech calls on Friday. I share the link with others who are not here to. Oh, Ashley, get this. Okay, I didn't even say this. Thanks for asking this question, because we have an affiliate program. So if you're a member of the community, if you join the community and then you invite somebody to join, you will get 100% of the first month if they stick around. So if you invited somebody, you joined the community and you invited somebody to join, and they joined for $400, we will just give that money to you. Crazy, right? So you could just invite one person every month and pay for it yourself if you wanted. That was the last one. All right, let's go. So if we join today and can't commit for whatever reason, yes. Hate to be, yep, no problem. Like we're super chill. If you sign up and like someone comes, all good. We'll like refund you money. Hopefully you get the like, we're pretty chill. Like this is the vibe. And here to help. Does the 14 days begin today? Great question. We're actually going to officially start the 14 days on the Tuesday. You can come in today, and we have the like spend the weekend. We've got an on-ramp, get you organized, but the 14 days actually doesn't start until the 27th of February. So there's that as well. Do you train coach around delivery? Yes, we do. Like that's all in the Soul Brand section. And we also have like, yeah, the software that we have access to helps with that tremendously. All right, this is fun. How we doing? We got 34 people in here. Any more questions? Let's go. Let's go. Who's on the fence? Who needs a push? It's fun. I'll tell you, like, it's fun. Oh, gee whiz, look at me. We haven't even been answering all these questions. And I haven't. Oh, yeah, you got it. Nice. Thanks for dropping that, Alexander. You should definitely join the school community now, Alex, and then do our main program. That's literally how most people like join our main program. Is like they come into our community, they get into momentum, they get some results. They also get like, they get familiar with our whole system without having to pay the big bucks. 14 days begins on the 27th of February. So on the, and even that, like, I'm going to be honest with you, we're going to be like flexible on that too. It's like, if it was 15 days and you want, like, we're not playing for the 14 days. Like we're trying to build a community that people want to stick around for years. And so if it was 16 days, you're like, oh, I missed the 14 days. That's okay. Take the refund. Also, I have totally ditched my meeting. Oh no, sorry about that. Beautiful. Thank you, Ashley. Yeah. I want to chat with my operations assistant. If I join later today, same deal. as long as you do it today. I mean, we might have some, might be tricky to see who, like, if you join today, I can say this, if you join today, then we're going to be following up with the people who join and offering them the one-on-one call with me. Returning after retirement, not really generating any income. Well, I mean, the only way to find out is, I would say, to join. Like, I'm obviously going to be a little bit biased, but if you're returning after retirement, like, to me, there's zero risk to try. And you get access to everything. And you can, like, we have things that you can do right away on day one. We have fast cash strategies so that you can do the little thing that gets the money. And yeah, so I would say no, not too soon to. I mean, you could wait, or you could do it now. One other question. This is fun. I should just do Q&As. This is great. I appreciate all these questions. Let's say we leave after 1, 2, 3 years, then we'll pay for software separately. Great question. Yes. Software would be, ends up being $197 if you want to keep it, which is, and you can keep everything. So if you leave, you want to keep all the softwares, it would be $197, which if you tried to purchase any of them, they would all be more than $197. You'll get all of them for $197. Good question. It will certainly be cheaper than anywhere else. I know, it is pretty amazing. I mean, we tried really hard to make the best offer on the internet. I think we did okay. I don't know. What do you guys think? How are we doing here? Do you have any sales calls with this model, or is it all oh no, yeah, the AI bot initially, you want it to, like, people still want to talk to humans. So the AI bot books calls primarily initially. And how we do it is we actually do like sell by chat, which we can teach and we show you how to do that. But the AI bot initially just basically manages your calendar and books appointments. We will show you things about AI that will make your skin crawl. It's too wild what is going on with AI, but we are honestly just taking a very small approach. We're just going to do the 3 or 4 things with AI that save our clients and ourselves a bunch of time. That's how we think about AI. You know, the slides that we created with this presentation, the AI bot that can book appointments, the marketing assistant, all that stuff. We show you how to use AI to save yourself time. And yes, I can share the offer one more time. In fact, let me do this. One sec. Uno momento. Yeah. Oh.
So to add to that, because I mean, we've got a little timeline for ourselves here, so we'll probably be shortly wrapping up. But if there's a couple of people that are still on the fence, I would like to throw in a little cherry on top.
Ooh, a cherry.
I'll add a one-on-one session too. So
oh, snap. Okay. Now you get 2. Who's on the fence now? That is bold, my friend. I appreciate it. Let me show you a couple things. What a cherry. Shit, I'm falling off the fence. Let's get it. Come on in. Maine, I didn't even know you're here. Maine, get in here. We have been chatting already. Get in here. Yes, if you like, here's one thing around, yes, you get 2 one-on-one calls. Drop the link again. Somebody drop the link. Yeah, it's a business in a box. Here's the thing, is like, it will be overwhelming. Like, building a business is just like, it is no small undertaking. But I'll tell you this, like, doing it in community, doing it with people who have done it before you, doing it with people who can every week tell you, like, don't focus on that because that'll overwhelm you, is how you not get overwhelmed. You just, like, if you try to do it by yourself, it's incredibly overwhelming. But if you are doing it with a team, with community, then it is not. Oh, Janice, well, this is the opportunity to transcend the procrastinator self. Yes. Let's do it. Let's not wait. The only time is right now. And right now, I'm going to share one other thing. So I'm just going to go in here for a second. And I'll show you. So one, we have epic people. Oh, there's also really cool things here. Like we also have an in-person retreat in May that we're doing. Okay. So maybe you might want to come and meet awesome humans. We're doing that for our community. If you're in our community, you can come for free. You just pay for your food and your lodging. And we have like epic speakers, Mark Groves, my business mentor. Anyways, that's like a different thing. But come in here and check it out. Then we have the classroom. So in here, we've created like, this is the start here. And you just start here. You follow the path. And then this will be the first 14 days, which will be live on the 27th. And you just do the things that we line up for you a little bit every day to get you a client or to get you momentum or to see the light, build your offer, and get to the next step. And if at the end of 14 days, you just come up here, send me a little message and say, thanks, Dan, I got what I needed, but it's not for me. Huh? No problem. Then I just refund you. The other things that are in here, so weekly calls, here's all the recordings that you get access to. We've got lots, you get access to all the back ones. Tech support, so our tech stack, like all of the tech that's included in this, plus our, like our dude, you can hire Hader. Look at this stud. It's great. He just bought his dad a car. Anyway, random. And you get access to all of our previous content, which like we had a program, it's called the Avocado Method. Cute name, right? But this is all of our past content as well. That like you get instant access that we used to charge 10K for. Okay. But what we're trying to do is actually more streamline it. And then every week on Fridays, there's the tech call if you need tech support. And then on Mondays, this is where we bring the heat. We bring the fire. You show up. We rock your pants. We get you clients and get you building this business. I'm seeing chats coming in. What time are the calls? PST. Yep, 11 a.m. PST. They are all recorded. Yep. All right. I'm going to put oh, check this out. Okay, here's my, for all you fence sitters, the clock's on now. We're going to wrap up this call in 4 minutes. If there's any other questions, let them rip or forever hold your peace. What would the time commitment look like to engage? So honestly, if I'm telling you, if you just like the bare minimum, show up to the coaching call. The coaching call alone on Mondays will, like, you can get your questions answered and you can transform your business. If you remember like the strategy that we talked about, boost a post on Instagram, get some people coming in, talk to them, make offers. It's like, we help you build that in the first 14 days. And then it's like, and now you're talking to people. And then it's like, you could just do that and be rolling and get some clients. Then if you want to grow and expand from there, then there's other systems, there's other strategies and like the next things that you can build from there. But yeah, that's so the first 14 days, let's say this, the first 14 days, give it 1 to 2 hours a day. Like, give it something. And then, and obviously like the more time you put in, the faster things go. But we make this a commitment to yourself in the same way Kelly does with her programs. Like, make the commitment to yourself, dive in, do it. Do you ever use Facebook ads? I did use Facebook ads. We did for this event, but primarily for this, it's just Instagram because it's so easy. It's literally like, it's so easy. For these particular type of offers, is 14 days counted as the first half of first paid month? Yeah, like if you come in, then it's like you come in, you pay $400, which is $100 off. That goes up to $500 on the 27th as well. So, so there's that. And then come in for 14 days or a little bit longer, and get a result, try us out. If you don't love it, get a refund. So if I have appointments 4 hours a day, this will help me develop and create something to sell. 100% it will. That will be the first thing. It'll be looking at your offer and then creating like a one-page sheet, like the same Google Doc template that we use to sell hundreds of thousands of dollars with. You will apply your offer to and sell it. Nothing recorded is fine. If you're selling you, your energy, your service, and you build those assets over time. 1.5 minutes left. Can I share this exact recording with people or just the links with this offer? There will be a replay that goes out. And that replay will be live for 2 days. What if we don't have money to invest in ads? It is, so we start at $5 a day. $5, like low, we're talking like the way you do ads is you just grow into the ads. So you start with a small amount, $5 a day, and then you expand it. Will the 14 days still work to onboard at least one client? Already invested in ads, they didn't work. Yep. Sorry, will the 14 days still work to onboard at least? Yeah, it like perhaps it does and perhaps it doesn't. But the point is, like, because I don't know. I don't know what the low-hanging fruit is or what's like what you have in your business particularly. But we have strategies that will help you to get the low-hanging fruit that will help the people who want to work with you raise their hand and say yes and get you into that conversation. So, yes, the timer has run out. Is there one more question? Good on the time. Just, I tend to go all in and tend to overwhelm myself. Yeah, we can guide you on all of the things. So if you come in like, and you get overwhelmed, because that happens, show up on the call on Monday and we will zap the overwhelm. It will disappear because we'll coach you on it. Veronica Johnson just coming in. I saw that, Veronica. Welcome. Actually, okay, I'm in. Can't wait. Dr. Kelly, let's go. All right, beautiful humans. I'm going to wrap up. Laura's in. All right. We got some great human. Let me, hold on. A little shout out here. What we got in here? Veronica, Ashley, Rebecca, Laura, Kimberly, Kurt Johnson. Yo, what's up? Welcome. Ella Ray, Mary Quill, Camille Herrera, Cindy, Teresa's an OG. Janice, procrastination be gone. Yeah. Love it, Janice. Welcome to the community. We're gonna send you all a beautiful welcome message. Excited to connect with you all, and thank you. If you have questions, hit us up over in school. But on that note, I'm gonna wrap her here. Broke the spell. Totally. All right, beautiful humans. Have a wonderful day. I will talk to you soon. Excited for those who joined. Pumped to connect with you, help you build this beautiful business. Let's go. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye-bye.
Thank you for your time.
You betcha. And if you're not in yet, get in here.
I'm in.
Let's go. All right. Beautiful. Take care, everybody.
Thanks, Dad.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.